Hello everybody, guten Tag, and welcome back to another lockpicking video. And in today's video we're going to have a look at another lock by M&C. In today's video we will have a look at this Dimple lock, the M&C Color. It has this key. And in one of my recent videos, I have shown this M&C Matrix lock. It has a nice classic key with a groove on the side for extra security. And extra security, they also put in drill protection. One of the cuts was just fake because it was, sacrificed for drill protection. First chamber is populated with a steel pin, and there's a whole steel plate in there. So quite surprising. And this also had a trap pin on 90 degrees, which was nice to see. So I'm eager to find out what this holds up. This is the M&C Color or Color Plus, I don't know for sure. It has a dimple style key. Of course, it also has another security feature here, this groove, similar to the one in the Matrix. So we have sliders interacting with this groove, and I think in this lock they actually sprung. We will see about this. And of course it has a main stack, but you can only see 5 dimples. I haven't counted them. We will have to see how many pins are in there and how many chambers are sacrificed for drill protection in this one. So, this is more secure than the Matrix. We will see. Let's put it in a vise and see how it holds up against picking. And then I can show you also the modular design of these Euro cylinders by M&C, which is quite nice because this middle piece here is made of very solid steel. They call it Puma steel, and it's good for snap protection because otherwise usually the classic brass here is quite brittle and can be easily snapped off. So it's very nice to see that. Also it is more adjustable. If you want to change the length of the cylinder, you don't need to change the lock and the keys, but you can just put an extension piece in here and put it to basically every size you want. So quite economical. So finally, let's put it in a vise and see how it holds up against picking. So here we are back in a vise. Key works fine. And the nice thing, of course, is you can insert it both ways. And then, picking starts by inserting a tensioner. And I'm just using this one here for Multipick, which fits rather loose, but lets me pick it, and I can push on it, so we tension clockwise. And usually you would want to pick counterclockwise, but with this lock I found clockwise works fine, because then you can rest the flag on the left side of the keyway, and it works just fine. So let's start with the back of the lock. It was, I think, pin 5. Nothing on 4. 3 is binding. Good click. Nothing on 2. Good click on 1. Small click on 2. And back to the back. I think that was 5 again. And here's pin 4. And I think the main stack is set. We got a minor core rotation, and now I have to set the sliders, because here, I think here the sidebar sits and the sliders moved this way, and therefore I have to go in with the half diamond on the left side of the keyway and get between the keyway and the slider head, and then turn the pick like this. And I just go in, ram against the slider, which feels stiff, like this one here. And then I really try to get in between the key head and the pin head and keyway, which worked fine. Now the first one was binding. Maybe still is. Second one, yeah, second one again. And really have to watch it that you stay on the left side of the keyway, especially for the ones in the very back. And you can always find the grooves where the sliders sit in by just pushing on the top. And I found for the sidebar, very light tension helps. And I overdid it again. I do not learn. But there we go, yeah. And I tested this already, but I will not do this now. You can turn the lock 360 degrees. You just have to be careful that the drivers don't shoot up in the keyway. And I don't care for that right now, so I will leave it like this, and I guess there's no trap pin in there, but we will see. Usually I would fast forward from here, but I wanted to take along the gutting, or at least the dismantling of the modular system. And this I just did in a recording a second ago, and I wasn't able to get this apart. Well, I could easily remove these two screws, which hold it together obviously, but then nothing wouldn't budge. So I guessed that these things here were in the way. So I tried pushing them out with pliers, and I ruined my good Knipex with that. But yeah, that's how it is. And then I went in with a screwdriver like this and lifted this C-clip, and yeah, this is what holds the bar here in place. And now I should be able to take it apart, and I put a little P on this side, which I picked actually, so we can take it apart. This is what the modular half looks like. We can put this one aside because we didn't pick it. We have the attenuator and the centerpiece here, and yeah, we can all put these apart or aside. And now we have just the classic lock body. We can remove the C-clip and then gut it, and I guess from here on I will just fast forward and see you back in a second. Okay, welcome back from fast forward. Let's have a look at the housing first. So you see that the main stack is off-centered actually. I should have seen this from the key already, but I didn't. And it's nice to see that this is the case. I don't know what this does security-wise, but they can fit in a lot more pins like this. So this has 6 pins. I only counted 5. Sorry. And there's another threaded chamber at the very back. I guess this is for the extension pieces or so. And here at the front, we have this little hole here. There, this steel rod fell out, and this is for drill protection. Nice to see, but it didn't sacrifice for a chamber. 6 chambers is quite nice actually. Then we have a look at the core. So where to start? Yeah, here are the holes for the main stack. They have 2 steps because the key pins are designed like this. They rest on this little ledge here you see in the hole. It's a bit unfortunate that the holes are chamfered. This of course allows easier picking. And let's have a look at the rest. So we have a thick anti-drill plate here in the front. Very nice to see. Good for drill protection. We have a snap point. So if you still manage to snap this lock, you will stay left with 3 pins and just snap off the front of the lock if you do a brutal attack. And here are the holes for the sliders. We only have 3 sliders in there. And this is a slot where the sidebar sits. I'll show you this in a second. 2 little springs. One flew off the table while gutting, but I found it on my arm actually. Quite surprising. Let's have a look at everything. So here we have the sliders, 3 sliders as mentioned, with the little knobs and then a cutout for the sidebar. No false gates, which is a bit unfortunate. It makes picking much easier, and they have tiny springs on themselves. Then we have the sidebar with the 2 springs pushing the sidebar out at rest, and only when you want to turn it they are compressed if the sliders are at the right position. Let me grab the sidebar quickly so you can see what it's like. Yeah, nothing special to it, just a piece of metal and 1 slider maybe. Yeah, just like this. Well, sorry. Okay, then let's have a look at the more classical stuff. Here's the main stack. We have 6 key pins, all with these steps which they rest on. And then we have the drivers, which is a bit unfortunate to see that only one is a spool, double spooled thingy, and one is like the other security ones. And what we see here is the very small springs. They will not help for anti-picking. I liked in the other one that they had hollowed out drivers where the longer springs could sit, but no, these are just full drivers. And yeah, these security drivers are actually quite nice. I would love to see more of those, but it is how it is. And yeah, still a very lovely lock. A little bit less pick resistant than the Matrix one, I would say. But yeah, let's be honest, in a real world situation, drilling is all that is done, or snapping maybe. And these are very well prepared for these attacks. And yeah, I guess this is why they earn their 3 stars in the SKG rating. So a very solid lock, was quite fun to pick. I was a bit surprised that I could get it under control so quickly. Locks with 2 locking mechanisms are always a box of surprise, and I was happy that this was rather easy. So yeah, if you're still here, give me a thumbs up, and yeah, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. I really appreciate you all subscribing, and yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about M&C locks, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Tschüss.